Yeah, I'm HighMiZe. Okay, nice.
When U.S. Army soldiers are on deployment or running field exercises, they have to eat a lot.
Yeah, most disgusting ass
Burner right
NDRs,
here.
whatever
No
they're called.
food cooking. Stop.
That's where Army Culinary Specialists come in.
If a unit goes out to the field, if a unit deploys, well, they've got to eat. So we're going with them.
After completing basic training, future culinary specialists head to Fort Lee, Virginia
Oh God, that looks
to train
disgusting.
for 8 weeks,
I don't know, mate.
where they'll learn how to cook for up to 800 soldiers in this. It might not look like much now, but when it's fully assembled, it has the capability to act as a fully functioning kitchen that can
kind of. So here's the thing, I try to keep it down because, you know, it's cheap content, let's be honest. But it's still fun to do, and it's like, while my game is updating right now, just something easy to do. And yeah, I do have a few people in the community that enjoyed Yuppie Porlocks, so
keep troops fed in the most remote of environments.
We went from a box on wheels to a whole freaking kitchen, right?
But before trainees cook for hundreds of hungry soldiers out in the field,
the waffles, dude, like, they did dry shit, but whatever.
They have to start with the basics.
There you go. Okay.
Some of them don't even know how to turn a stove on.
Insiders spent 5 days at Fort Lee, observing several classes at various stages of training.
One of the main things that I like to tell my soldiers is we don't just provide food, we provide fuel. For those personnel who are on the front line, for the war fighters, fold this side in.
3,000 to 4,000 members of the Army and National Guard graduate every year from the 8-week course, which is broken down into 5 sections.
Okay.
First, classroom training on food safety, sanitation, and nutrition. Then, hands-on training in
I'm not even gonna cap, the job looks like the most boring shit ever.
The techniques of cookery, before moving on to baking, cookies, pies, and more. Next, 5 days of cooking in the garrison dining hall. Finally, training culminates outdoors.
Continue the story.
With a week of cooking in the Army's mobile.
I mean, what?
The sound for me.
I mean, I don't even know where we stopped anymore.
Kitchen.
It's been like 3 days.
Trainees arrive at Fort Lee with varying levels of cooking experience.
Varying levels of cooking. That should look like they'd never been in a kitchen. What
kind
the
of
fuck?
experience did you have cooking before arriving at Fort Lee?
I cooked a lot with my mother.
I have an associate's degree in culinary arts.
I had no experience at all cooking.
Prior experience is not necessary. One of the awesome things about our job, everything you need to know, we can teach you here.
So the customer ate it, they got sick. That's all it takes.
Training begins in the classroom, with 2 days of instruction in sanitation and nutrition.
The information that trainees learn is to ensure that they're cooking good, nutritious food for the warfighter. And then they also learn about safety, sanitation, how to prevent infectious disease, how not to transfer and cross-contaminate food, and then how to provide safe meals.
Sanitation is everything. If your people aren't safe, and if you aren't safe, then the mission can't be complete.
Just imagine they didn't watch out with the chicken, okay, and now the whole fucking army has salmonella shitting themselves in the trenches.
Trainees are tested at the end of each block of training in the form of a 50-question exam.
We have anywhere from 9 to 15 different diseases that they learn. And then they have
she's fucking dead inside. Holy fuck.
To understand what food items they're found in, how do their practices impact their ability to be able to spread those diseases to different customers within those facilities.
You will go to these stations, you will put on your hat, and you'll put on your apron.
Training moves from the classroom to the cooking labs during techniques of cookery.
The techniques of cooking is basically their first introduction to the kitchen. Some of them don't even know how to turn a stove on, so that's why I get to teach them how to use their equipment.
But before they start cooking, trainees need to become familiar with the tools they'll be working with.
This first bend in your finger, this first little knuckle, all right, this is gonna be the furthest point up. So this is gonna be on your knife. It'll be just like this. There's a couple methods that I use, like a claw method, making sure that they tuck their fingertips underneath, because in our field, if you kind of need your fingers, you kind of need all of them. Keep as well, same size all around, right? All right, so.
Trainees get to see instructor demonstrations on how to cook certain foods during their
announcement. That's cool. That's cool as shit. Overwatch tomorrow at 11 p.m. German time. Alright, let's do that. Tomorrow 11 p.m. German time, Overwatch 2.
First 4 days in the labs, but they won't have that luxury later on.
Weigh out your beef, put it in your large pot, and you just move on to the next step, okay?
They'll come up to our front of our stations,
that announcement sounds
and
cool.
we'll literally show them how to do it step by step, accordance with the recipe card. Then they have the opportunity to go back to their stations and apply what we taught them how to do that product. If you don't have rice in your small pot yet, half a cup of rice, all you have to do is read your recipe cards, guys. That is key.
What the fuck? Honestly, how?
If your beef stew is at a boil, you're gonna put the lid on your beef stew and then turn it down to a simmer. Yeah, I think in this whole procedure, if you don't understand how to read a recipe card, then you're gonna fail. You have to be able to read it step by step. That way you can learn how to do these things.
Who doesn't know how to do that though?
More than 5, isn't that all? There you go, okay? The hardest thing is probably retaining information,
honestly,
learning the techniques that we teach them, and then applying it. Take your ladle. You don't want to overkill. Make it look nice and neat. Part of your grade is presentation, guys.
The food looks so
Once
bad.
the trainees
it
have
honestly
completed
looks so
their
bad.
recipe, they bring their finished product to the back of the cooking lab to be graded on presentation, technique, and execution.
Even that looks
we
bad.
teach them the basics. It's how to cut, how to slice. We also teach them how to simmer, how to braise, how to saute, and then we teach them about moist heat, dry heat. All those things incorporated get them ready for what is known as a cook-off at the 5th day. Don't stress out. Have fun. Make sure you have your utensils.
Fuck, honestly,
During
that
the
looks
cook-off,
disgusting.
trainees have 1 hour to prepare a chef's salad,
all of you were
green
AFK.
beans lyonnaise,
All of you were AFK.
and spaghetti with a ragu sauce.
This doesn't look too bad.
But won't receive a demonstration or
What
explicit
the
guidance
fuck?
from their instructor.
Why would you use... What tools are they using?
Coming in today for cook-off, I was actually excited because I enjoy cooking. That's fun. I was a little nervous about what...
They used a Schneebesen for minced meat.
What?
Yes, exactly.
to expect, unknown, not knowing like, oh, I make a mistake.
It was just a whole lot of anxiety, a lot of nervous thoughts, and excitement bunched in one cluster.
5 minutes, you got 5 minutes.
What
Sometimes
the fuck?
They are scared because there is a time that they're timed with. And also,
even their onion
you know,
pieces,
it's just
they're
stressful.
so big.
And then you
It's
got
like
me
a whole
watching you
onion.
around your back and all that stuff.
At the end of the cook-off,
Your content is disgusting, lol.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
The trainees' dishes are graded on a number of criteria. There'll be docked points if items are not cut properly, dishes are undercooked or overcooked, or if their sauce is not the right consistency.
The thing that you did wrong was supposed to be slices, correct? So
I thought
those are rings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. Slices or rings, fuck off.
But you did good on everything else. You overcooked your onions a little bit, okay, and they're a little bit too big, okay? A lot of the students did a lot of things right. The biggest thing is when they do cut-ups.
Why is he talking
some of
about
their
the
cuts that they do for
most
these products
useless?
are
Like, come
either
on,
too
bro.
big. Some things that are wrong is they don't drain all the liquids off of certain individual items. Presentation is important because it's all about
How did the message appear? I didn't see
when
it.
you
Is it
go
check
to any
glitch?
restaurant and you serve something outstanding,
What do
that's
you
going
mean?
to show the people that you
I
put
get what
your
you-
flair into it. You put your own artwork into it. Sauce, outstanding, good job.
Oh, here, yeah, I'm
Salad,
not streaming. I'm
good
not on streaming on
presentation,
YouTube, mate. I'm
and
only
good
streaming on
cut.
YouTube.
All right, so good job. All the trainees passed all their products today, so it makes me feel very happy. It makes me feel like they listened to what I had to teach, and they applied it to everything that they plated on their presentation.
And actually preparing it to actually.
The thing is, I had a chat that worked for all platforms, but it's bugged. So, you know,
so well.
I can't use it right now.
It puts a lot of pride in your heart.
I don't even know why it's bugged. Like, every platform works except for YouTube.
To get all that sugary goodness inside the bowl.
Now armed with a foundation in the techniques of cooking, trainees
Yo,
move
Mochan,
on
thank you
to
for the
baking.
follow. I appreciate that.
Well, you know, everybody has a sweet tooth, but like I say, we just not
Yeah.
feeding soldiers, we're feeding civilians too. So we just make
Oh,
sure
wait,
we give
for
them
real?
a nice home away from home treat And I think everybody deserves that.
Same
when
person
you're putting your sweet potato pie mixture in your shell, ensure you do not get it on the edges or it's going to burn. Everybody tracking? Remember, get your butter knife. You will stick it in the center and then pull out. It should come out clean. So if not, just put it back in there.
But sometimes in techniques of cooking, they have trouble in that. And then they become the best baker in this section because they know they have to pay attention to detail and they can't skip any steps.
We'll see.
Baking is a science, and if you don't pay attention exactly, you're gonna get
that's kind of true. Like with cooking, you can like do whatever you want, right? Like you can add a little bit more of that herb and like a little less of that, and it's gonna end up fine, right? But with baking, you miss like 0.5 grams of flour and suddenly it's like a soup.
True.
Oven, yeah, it will be done, but these gas, because the heat is coming from the bottom, it's taking longer for it to cook around it.
I've learned a lot with Miss Harrison. She's a great cook, great teacher.
So once your fruit pie and your sweet potato pie, when they're done, I want you to put them both on the same
sweet potato pie. That's such a weird concept. Like I get it, it's sweet, but
once again,
it's a vegetable.
The trainees' finished products are graded on a number of criteria.
For my custard pie, you guys did a real good job.
Army stuff legit hard, you know. I was in the Army cooking serious stuff. We had saying, you can Army.
Okay, so that's what's gonna sell me.
Many greetings to Joe. Greetings from Flo.
Who's this? Number 6? Number 2? And
not so many greetings.
Huh?
Number 7 again.
What?
You did a good job.
Greetings.
The baking module of training also ends in a 50-question exam and bake-off. But for now, trainees...
I don't know, dude, like, the food looks fucking horrible. Okay, the food looks fucking... Like, that's a reason to not join the army, right? That, like... In Deutsch Grüße, yeah.
No, that's the reason to join the army and become a cook there.
Yeah, because they all love... Yeah, I mean, I guess, but...
These get to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
The cake looks fine, I guess, but the rest, like... The pasta was...
The garrison operations
like school
module
lunch.
of training is a
but
culmination
the stew literally looked like dog food.
of everything the trainees have learned so far.
It's the first glimpse of what they will see once they get to their actual unit after they graduate.
Trainees spend 5 days cooking in an actual garrison kitchen at Fort Lee, preparing a variety of food. We observed one platoon of trainees over the course of several mornings, which starts at 0500 with what's called a cook's mount.
It's accountability for everyone.
Do they want to explain what that is?
We're checking for the hair. We're checking to make sure that it's nice, neat. We're checking for nail length. We're checking to make sure that there's no abrasions or make sure that they're not sick.
Once the trainees pass their daily inspection, they
changed
start
something else on
preparing
that.
breakfast.
Think about when y'all made cinnamon rolls upstairs in small quantity baking. You're making it the same way.
Operations are a lot more thorough than what I had expected it to be. Everybody is assigned to their own station.
Operations. They talk about it like they're just assassinating Bin Laden. Come on, you're making cinnamon rolls, dude.
In a position, and whatever doesn't get done in the end, we pick up the slack and as a team and work together to ensure that food gets handled out in an orderly manner.
It's just frozen. Don't even make it. It's frozen.
Cut it off, then you remove the ham, right, and you put it into your third pan, okay? For the first couple of days, I look for them to be sort of confused. They don't know where things are. They don't know how to turn on certain equipment and things of that nature. You want to kind of make it in a straight line, right, and then remember which ones you laid down first, right? Come Thursday and Friday, then that's when the instructors typically take a step back, and then we kind of let them operate on their own, so we can see if they're grasping the information.
Is it buffering? Is YouTube buffering? Is that what's going on?
Even though it was stressful, it was really like hands-on, and you got to like learn and experience a lot more things, and you got to make more like meals, prepare dishes for like other people to eat, not just yourself and your platoon.
Thank you very much.
Aww.
Trainees head outside for the 5th and final module of training, which is focused on field cooking operations.
They're going to alternate your meat between here and here. You know what I mean?
The equipment that we teach here at Field Operations Training Branch That's the equipment that we use in the operational force.
That shit looks unseasoned as fuck.
But before they can start cooking in the mobile kitchens...
On lift, everybody raise it up. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, on lift.
They have to learn how to build them.
Let me get 4 up there, everybody else down here on the ground. So the mobile kitchen trailer, we can use that when we got up to 300 personnel to feed 3 times a day and in basically any environment. Take a mental note of where everything is, all right? Because that's how we're going to pack it back up.
In addition to the mobile kitchen trailer, trainees are taught how to build and operate the Army's containerized kitchen, or CK.
The containerized kitchen, that is our largest field feeding platform. We're going to use our containerized kitchen more often in a situation where we built up some infrastructure. We have the capacity to feed 800 personnel, and with our capacity to feed more people, we can bring more people in to support that area, to defend that area, and to accomplish those missions.
All right.
Watch your head. The process of setting up the CK is very challenging because there's a lot of big moving parts. You got to watch out for your battle buddies because there's a lot of things that's unfolding and spreading out on the CK. So you got to communicate.
Over the course of 2 weeks, trainees have to pass a 50-question exam and demonstrate proficiency with each piece of equipment.
We went from a box on wheel to a whole freaking kitchen, right?
Y'all made that with love, huh? Y'all made that with love. They look good.
The final week of training is spent cooking in the mobile kitchens.
That doesn't look
not
so good.
just for themselves.
At any given time, we can have up to 300 or 400 personnel out here on the ground. They're going to break down their meals. They're going to identify how many personnel they're actually feeding, and then they're going to actually prepare meals for everybody at FOTB, not just their group.
I specifically told nobody to turn on the MBU without my eyes on it. You got this burning right here and no food cooking. Stop. Put them on there. Again, nobody will turn on any MBUs without me visually looking at you.
Learning in the mobile kitchen, it's been challenging because it's different. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration.
The aspect that I do enjoy the most in the mobile kitchen is the closeness I get with my battle buddies. I could just be like, okay, here's this, put this to the side for a minute, help them out, cool, spin around, help the next person, go back to what I'm doing. Like, we work as a team.
1 full scoop of oatmeal,
all right.
1 full scoop of potato, and 1 of these.
In my experience, their response to utilizing the equipment is by far and away positive.
That shit look
they
nasty,
like learning,
bro.
and they like seeing the fruits of their labor.
When we go to the field, soldiers are tired, they're running through missions, they're running through lanes, and then when they see you, it's almost like they're not tired no more because they got food, they got nice, hot chow, and that's just the most motivating.
Look, this doesn't look too bad. Okay, this is, even though like there's just fucking salad without anything. Like, who the fuck actually just eats salad without anything? But whatever, we're ignoring that part. Like I mean, this is like airplane food, not gonna lie. And some fucking fruit, of course, it can be fresh, like they're in the field. But this actually looks good. Okay, this actually looks good. But like, what the fuck is the rest of it? Like all the
According
other
to
meals
Fort
look
Lee,
like
about
shite.
95% of trainees who start the course are able to graduate.
That's not bad.
Once
95.
they do, they'll be assigned to their next unit.
But yeah, I mean,
either
like,
domestically
as we saw, the
or
standards
at
aren't
one
too
of
high.
the hundreds of Army bases around the world.
Training here has been an experience. It's been fun. I learned a lot of new things, cooked in a lot of different elements and environments and stuff like that. So it's been great.
I mean, it was interesting.
This job is not lower than any other job that's in the military.
Looks nasty.
It's just as hard as any other job out there.